still in its wrapper. I think I've probably broke that too. I'll be honest, over the years there are a range of different things I've bought for my class that have been absolutely useless. Things that I bought with good intent but just haven't used. I see over social media and things like that a range of different people buying things for their class, and that's fantastic, but in my experience there are things during my time as a teacher that I bought and never used, and to be honest, that worries me because I like to think of myself as a little bit of a minimalist. I say a little bit because teachers, I don't think, can actually be minimalists. That's a hard word to say when you're trying to say it fast. I don't think teachers can be minimalists because you have your teacher cupboard and there's always that thing that you need to keep for other lessons. I find myself hoarding scrap pieces of cardboard that I actually end up using in months and months' time for different projects. So as a teacher, it's hard to be a minimalist, but I do try and utilize the resources that I have before buying other bits and pieces. That said, I've definitely bought things in the past that I've never used. So in this video, I wanted to talk about some of the things that I haven't used before and have been a bit of a waste of my money. Now, please understand that this video is going to be quite subjective because some of the things that I find pointless and things that I've bought in the past and haven't used will be things that you probably use and actually think, nah, I find that useful. So before you hit the dislike button, please press the like button. That's always appreciated. I know that 93% of you have not yet subscribed, so please take the time to go and hit the subscribe button. That is always appreciated, and welcome to the channel. So let's start off with some of the things that I've bought in the past that I haven't used. And this is the first one. And there's a lesson learned here. You can see these are some foam dice. I'm a bit of a stippler. I really don't like rolling dice on the table. I find it one of the most irritating sounds, similar to scratching a chalkboard, and I know some of you out there will have just cringed. I apologise for that. So yeah, the reason why this is a problem is when I went home to the UK last year, I bought these. I thought, oh, that's going to be such a revolutionary item, but it's still in its packaging. When I got to school that following September, I actually found that the maths lead had ordered a huge tub full of these. So as a result, I've used those, and these have been absolutely useless. Lesson learned there is to think about what other members of staff are ordering before you go and buy something yourself. The big thing I hear many teachers say is, what should I buy for my new classroom? And I always say the same thing, nothing. That's not to say you won't buy anything, because there will always be something that you want to go and buy, but always make sure that you think about what is in school before you go and buy things. Which brings me on to the next thing, and that is storage. There will, of course, be times where you want to buy things for storage, but I find in the past when I buy endless amounts of storage, that endless amounts of storage becomes storage for storage, if that makes sense. So I'll have a storage box like this, and I'll have little pots that I've not used because I don't need it. So yeah, what I like to do personally is think about things that I'm actually going to use and start to actually go, oh, I need something for that, whether it's collection of paper in the corner or whether it's a collection of resources, collection of pencils and things like that. In my NQT year, what I did was realize that, there's things like pencils and rubbers on a table. I'm gonna need something to put those in. And I did go into the what do you call it, teacher storage cupboard, and there were some pencil pots and things like that in there, but they were quite odd. They were like different pencil pots basically. So what I decided to do was just get something from, I think it was Ikea, something universal, and that was that. So that was a solution to a problem. Try and buy solutions to problems, essentially, is what I'm saying. Item number 3 that I've not got with me, and you'll understand why, is a laminator. Now, nowadays you can buy laminators for really cheap from places like Tesco, and this is one that I know is going to be so controversial because having a laminator is going to save you so much time. It's a great thing to have in some ways, but it's also a bit of a chore. Now, I noticed when I bought a laminator, I didn't actually really use it because the laminator at school was available the majority of the time. I also noticed that when I bought the laminator, I needed to buy the sheets, and it became something expensive. But more than that, from an environmental stance, it was a problem. Because I had a laminator, I felt like I needed to use it all the time. So I found myself becoming a bit of a laminating king. Now, you probably get what I mean. I was laminating things that I really didn't need to. Resources that would go on the wall and pieces of work would get laminated so that they don't diminish and they don't degrade. But realistically, the children, one, couldn't read them when they were on the wall because the light would shine down, and there's that tacky look to some of the things that you laminate sometimes. And two, I didn't reuse any of it. So I laminated it for the sake of protecting it, which was really pointless because all I did was throw that away. The problem with laminating things is that it takes a long time to break those laminated pieces of paper down. I think it's something like 150 years. I'll post down there what the actual number is. And yeah, that's a problem. I would say, obviously, yes, laminate things if you're going to use them over and over and over again. I'm not saying don't laminate things, but there are other solutions. Using card and printing onto card is something that is way more environmentally friendly, but at the same time is something that's going to last longer than simply using paper. But at the same time, I've also learned that if you put things on paper onto walls, it's much easier to read for children, and they're more likely to look at those things. So a laminator is something that, yeah, I do regret buying because one, I didn't really use it as much as I thought I would, and two, from an environmental stance, it's not the best. Now, those are my personal 3 items. What I did do is go to Instagram and ask some people on there what they regret buying, and from the responses I got, I'm going to share all of them and talk about some of the things that other people regret buying. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, it's the same as this channel, Thomas Blakemore. I often post a range of different questions that you can answer and get involved with, and yeah, it's where I'm more likely to post things that would then relate to this channel. The first thing was children's books, and although yeah, children's books are really important, in fact it's one of the things that I always say you probably will want to buy, the tip that this person's given is absolutely spot on, and it says always ask friends or family first and check your bookshelf isn't full already. So that links back to what I said before, and at the same time, yeah, friends and family will have books that they gave out to their children or they don't use anymore, and before you go and buy new books, go and check charity shops. There are always children's books in there and you can buy them cheap too. The next one's just funny, and it's a metal reception desk bell for my classroom, constant pinging by little fingers. Now you can imagine that scene already. Having that bell on the side, you're busy with a group, teaching, marking, whatever you're doing, and you just ping, ping. Don't ask what that sound effect was. I fully agree. Hundreds of pens and highlighters when I use one. I agree with this so much because when I came to Dubai, I bought all my special green marking pens. Like, who does? Oh, marking pen. Anyway, and yeah, I bought these green pens with me and discovered that my school marks in purple, which is a really hard colour to find here in Dubai. So before you go out and buy lots of special pen, yeah, check the colours that you mark with. Also check what your school already has. I guarantee that would be one thing that your school is most likely to have is pens and highlighters. A pencil case, just throw the pens in my bag, says one person. Yeah, I'm really bad. I often find that I find so many different pens at the bottom of my bag. At the end of every half term, I usually clear my bag out and I will find purple pens, as I said, whiteboard pens, I will find highlighters, there's so many different things that I find. You will probably want a pencil case, to be fair, because you'll want to put things in places. Personally, I just stick them in my pockets and they usually get lost. Any calm corner toys, one angry child will destroy them all within minutes. I love that. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, there was one child in my NQT year, I spent a lot of time creating a resource for this person. One temper tantrum on a specific Tuesday afternoon, that effort went straight out the window. It was, yeah, destroyed. I can't imagine how I would be feeling if I'd actually bought that resource too, which is why I was saying about asking friends, but also charity shops, because yeah, things get destroyed in schools. I'm not saying don't buy nice things for your class, but also understand that children are children and yeah, things get damaged. Amazon Prime. Yeah, when we think of technological things, Amazon Prime is just dangerous. One click to buy. That's, yeah, great point. My own laminator someone put, so sort of agreeing to my point. A 2020 planner. So I'm guessing this is a 2020 to 2021 planner as in the year rather than the academic year. And oh, it's a frustration if you get that one, because you'll get to December and then you'll need to start changing dates over. And no, there's so many different diaries out there, especially this time of year. There's some really great deals and things like that. There's loads of amazing diaries out there, and yeah, now is the time to look for things that are going to be more suitable. But also, I know that my NQT year school provided a really good planner for me. So as I said before, talk to your school and see what they will provide too. And yeah, the last one is anything. You shouldn't buy anything because your settings should provide all the tools you need. And yeah, fair enough. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but sometimes, you know, school is more likely to provide you things. At the same time, I will say that you guys might just want to go and buy things because you like the look of them, and that's completely fine too. I guess this video was mainly to just talk about things that I regret buying in my teacher experience. I searched the web for things like this when someone asked me this question and struggled to find any information, so I thought I'd just make this video for you guys, and hopefully it's helpful in some way. If it has been helpful, please feel free to like the video. That's always really appreciated. And if you're new around here, please subscribe and join the channel. I like to really collaborate with a range of different educators through this platform. And yeah, type down in the comments, what things do you regret buying throughout your teacher experience? Or if you're a trainee teacher, are there things that you regret buying in the past? Let's make this comment section really helpful for people out there to save money and ultimately make things useful. So I'll see you in the next one, but for now, I'm out.